Well, the last 12 months have indeed been a year of disruption and surprises. We've had fires, then floods, and now COVID-19. And I can't remember another time when so many things in my life have been turned upside down. We've had work from home, school from home, and lockdowns. They're all a shared experience for all of us. And it's becoming pretty clear that each of us needs to become more flexible as we find our way into the new normal. And that includes doing webinars from home. As I was thinking about the pressure and challenges of moving into a new normal, it occurred to me that a similar kind of transition is underway within IT networking. We've had changes to application architectures and even the locations of our workloads. And this is causing us to rethink how we build networks. And a key part of this is moving towards a more manageable, more secure, more streamlined, and dare I say, more flexible network. G'day, I'm Marty Barber, a Networks and Security Solution Architect with CSA. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to use the next 30 minutes or so to discuss the features and benefits of Aruba's SDBranch solution. And in doing that, we're going to see how we can provide the kind of network flexibility that we're searching for. We're also going to be speaking with systems engineer Tim Bates from Aruba. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Marty. How are you? And,
yeah, good, thanks.
It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, thanks for including me in the discussion.
No problem. Let's get started. There's a huge change going on in our industry at the moment. We've got huge competitive pressure to streamline operations and deliver differentiated services. We've got rapidly growing amounts of data, especially at the edge from IoT devices. The market's been hugely disrupted, not just this year, but even beyond that. Our CIOs are under more pressure than ever, and IT teams, unfortunately, aren't getting any bigger. We're all pretty overworked, and we need to be able to do more with less. So in that kind of context, how are different firms going to respond to those kind of challenges? Well, for many, it comes down to thinking about their applications and workloads in particular. How are they going to run and where are they going to run? We're seeing more and more businesses embrace hybrid cloud. So taking on SaaS where SaaS works and then using private cloud or even public cloud to run other workloads that can't run out of SaaS. We're seeing a huge prioritization of security, and this is a good thing. And it's the single biggest influencer when it comes to where we're going to spend our money now. And we're seeing more and more people turn to infrastructure as a service and platform as a service as well. So taking the pressure off running the guts of the infrastructure and focusing more and more on our applications. Now that's all well and good when it comes to the applications, but all of those changes have huge impacts on the network as well. And there are particular network challenges that are coming out of this as well. So in particular, we're seeing user experience as a huge challenge. It remains the key to a successful network. Be it for internal staff, be it for external customers, we need to ensure that the experience they have on our applications and services remains optimal. We're also seeing huge demands on branch security and moving as much security as possible to the very edge of the network. People need to mitigate unauthorized access at the edge, as well as secure IoT devices, which inherently aren't that secure. More recently, we've seen huge increases in demand for remote working as well, and looking for flexible ways to introduce that and include that in the overall network architecture. The complexity of people's WANs networks are increasing as well. So whilst looking for cost reductions wherever possible, we're asking more of our network than ever. Trying to figure out how to plumb different clouds together, how to include platform as a service and SaaS into our environments. It's becoming more and more challenging. And so we're leaning on technologies like SD-WAN to help us to simplify that and to reduce the cost of carriage. We're also trying to work with limited IT budgets, as we said before. So most teams aren't getting bigger. In fact, many are getting smaller. And we need to be able to do more with less. And we're looking, therefore, for flexible tools and infrastructure that can help us to achieve that. So this all brings us to what Aruba called SDBranch. Tim, do you want to give us an intro to what we're talking about here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Marty. So Aruba SDBranch is really a combination, if you like, of two aspects. The SD-WAN that we sort of know and love, and as you've articulated very well, is becoming quite important these days in orchestrating multiple carriages into one cohesive sort of network. And it blends that with the SD-LAN, which is really what's on the ground with the edge that's in the branch, being your wireless and wired edge, together into one platform, one solution, and hence it makes it more of a cohesive solution, having it all bundled together under the one management umbrella and a sort of single pane of glass, to coin a phrase. So that's Aruba SDBranch. It's a combination of the WAN services all the way through to the edge wireless LAN or wired LAN services that you provide.
Okay, so let's further define that by thinking about a few things that this is not. So this is not really, it's not a box, is it? It's not the box V3. What is it?
No, so it's, yeah, like I've sort of, it's a combination. You've got your perimeter branch gateways, and there's a myriad of models there, and we'll discuss those in a little bit of time as to what fits where.
Yep.
Moving through into the switching and the wireless LAN. Its main sort of advantage is the manageability and the intelligence that you're able to gain off the network to help drive efficiencies, and cost optimization.
And so what we're really seeing here is it's an architecture and an approach rather than an individual product that you might go and purchase as a one-off purchase. And then so it sounds like it's kind of complex and might involve lots of CLI to program it. What are we really thinking about in terms of configuration here?
If you think about the the complexity of the CLI, we've really removed that barrier, and with orchestration now, and the management platform there, which is Aruba Central, has the control plane, if you like, for the branch, and it's using a tunnel orchestrator to automatically build and construct and link up your tunnels from site to head office, from site to public cloud, and then on top of that there is a route orchestration tool that automatically delivers the route tables and the routing function as an overlay to your carriage, so that branch connectivity is there, bidirectionally.
Awesome. And so thinking about how this all kind of comes together, Aruba announced not long ago this new thing called ESP, the Aruba Edge Services Platform. And that's kind of, I guess, again, the architecture we're seeing sitting behind what's going on here. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about ESP?
It is, and you're right. We've announced a new architecture, and that's what it is. It's not a product per se, but having said that, the SDBranch solution marries very nicely into the Edge Services Platform architecture. There are three attributes to ESP: your AI Ops, unified infrastructure, and zero trust security, and they marry very nicely into what is Aruba SDBranch as a whole.
And so now thinking specifically about how the SDBranch solution can meet those challenges we introduced earlier. The first one was experience. How are we going to manage the experience of users? What kind of functions and capabilities do we have inside the SDBranch and ESP solutions that can help us to manage experience?
So in the SDBranch solution, we're getting a lot of AI, and this marries into the AI Ops attribute of ESP. So it's about that intelligence. It's using the network itself to deliver metadata and insight into what's going on, from client connectivity all the way through to switch utilization, through to VPN tunnels and link utilization on the WAN, and rolling that up and giving it to the IT Ops team as insights and intelligence as to what's going on. Wrapped on top of that is the ability to do what we're calling AI Assist, which is taking that to the next level and suggesting what can be improved, suggesting what can be changed, and really getting to a fault mitigation type autonomous network. We've had a connect and protect, sit back and wait for something to go wrong attitude over time. We're now into an analyze and hopefully, and where we're heading is into an analyze and act state where the network is really taking care of itself, self-healing, self-optimizing, and alleviating a lot of that burden off IT. As you've said, the IT resource as a human resource is getting scarce, and where it does exist needs to be doing more business function and business focused projects rather than down in the weeds trying to work out what's going on with a user in a particular branch that having Wi-Fi issues, for example.
That's right. And so what we're seeing here is we're taking, rather than trying to predict, I guess, what the performance may be and building a policy around our prediction, we're actually using the real life statistics, time-based statistics of the network to then deliver insights and make decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting into the realm of AI, and obviously feeding the intelligence is the machine learning that's going on underneath the covers. And to have a good outcome from an AI, you need data, and you need lots of it, and you need to be training that machine learning to give you more accurate result.
And so the kind of functions that we're going to see as a result of that are things like choosing the best path to reach a particular application.
Yeah, so part of that, the SDBranch and that intelligence, if you like, is dynamic path selection. It's having more than one option. You put a framework around what an application needs to be performing to give the user the best experience. And the system is monitoring and looking at all those parameters around each link, and then just making a decision on what to do with traffic at the time, with what's in front of the algorithms and the engine there as to latency and jitter and packet loss and all the metrics that you would expect around WAN connectivity. And then deciding what's best for that application traffic to deliver the best user experience.
Awesome. And that can mean, steering across MPLS, whether that's the most appropriate, or direct to net, or direct to SaaS. All the different options are there to allow us to really optimize that flow. What about application performance from a user perspective? Is there anything Aruba's got in the platform that can help us to look at that?
So as part of the total solution is a function or a facet called the user experience insight. It's a sensor, and everything we've talked about to date with the user experience is really being telemetry and looking at the network from the infrastructure's point of view, from the network looking out into the user connectivity. But this UXI platform is actually looking from the client itself looking in. It's a sensor. It runs testing that you can program. You can customize the testing, and it's really that it is user experience in its essence. Okay, and it's just sitting there 24/7 testing everything that you want to tell it to test. Applications, SaaS applications, internal applications. It's testing connectivity, VLANs, DNS, DHCP, to give you the end-to-end view of the network from the user's point of view.
And that's just becoming increasingly important, especially with things like SaaS applications, and even just with changes applications, where we need to just assess, has the change been positive or negative? Here's something we can use to quantify that.
And like root cause analysis and jumping to where the actual problem is very, very quickly. As we know, users and the user experience is, I can't do what I want to do. And there's obviously conclusions drawn from the user's knowledge, and it may not be the actual cause of their issue.
Super interesting. So we saw above as well that security is a prime candidate for the most important thing people are interested in now when they want to spend their money. What kind of end-to-end security features and functions and capabilities are we going to get from an SDBranch solution?
Yeah, SDBranch security obviously is forefront of people's mind, and it is one of those attributes of ESP, just to tie that back in again with zero trust security. From an SDBranch point of view, the hardware itself is hardened, secure boot. We've got encrypted images. There's WAN protection on all the WAN links with a sort of default ACL, if you like. Importantly, the hardware also has TPM chips in it, so we use that as the basis for the encryption that's used for control plane management plane, and also for the VPN keying. is done from TPM. There's control plane protection. So the hardware and the box and the orchestration is very secure. Then you're moving up a level, if you like, into the firewall capability that we've got in the branch gateways. Aruba's pedigree and what we have as a strength is that policy enforcement firewall, that ability to look very deep into traffic flows with the DPI engine and ALGs, identifying applications, using that in the role-based policies that you can define. Also, web content, web reputation can also be ascertained and used in policy. And then moving to user traffic in a little bit more detail is the dynamic segmentation. And that's probably one of the bigger ones for a branch, is being able to control and have a lot of confidence that traffic is doing what it should do, that users are communicating with who they should communicate with. And in a branch, you generally have control of north-south traffic, in and out of the branches. But dynamic segmentation allows you to have that same visibility control on all your east-west traffic, so your traffic traveling within the branch, if you like.
Yes,
and
that's right.
When we talk about IoT and all those devices and that attack surface being expanded, you've got to really have a good handle on what these clients are doing and what they're attempting to do if there's a breach. So
So having all of these different policies in place sounds like what we need. How are we going to orchestrate that? How are we going to take control of all of those different policies and simplify that process?
The policy orchestration really is coming down to the ClearPass product being your central point of truth and the one place to define all these policies. And we use what's called downloadable user roles. So it's a dynamic way of adjusting or making changes or adding new roles and policies to the system as a whole, all in one place. Gone are the days of having to go in, log into every router or every switch and do CLI and add VLANs and do ACLs. It's really one place to do that once and know that that's where the source of truth is, and it's dynamically deployed to the branches as needed. The flip side of that is also, and we'll get to talk about, zero-touch provisioning and turning up the branch, getting it running it's a simple turn up when you're dragging and downloading policy from a central point. The config that's needed to be done on day zero is much more simplified.
Yeah, and a huge part of being confident with that solution is that it's now consistent across all of your different parts of the infrastructure, and that's the same no matter which office you happen to be in, or if you're moving between offices, you're going to be given that consistent policy.
Consistency and comfort and control.
Yeah, awesome. So we saw also before that there's a big move now to move workloads and applications into SaaS and public cloud or private cloud. So I guess it makes sense in a way that this solution is also cloud native itself. What kind of capabilities are we going to see because of that?
Yeah, so cloud is cloud's here. It's what's happening. So the orchestration I mentioned and the management platform, management plane is all out of Aruba Central, which is a cloud native management tool. The other cloud features, if you like, are the ability to do what we call SaaS Express, which is orchestrating the best path from a branch to get to the best point of presence for a SaaS application. So it's sort of a double benefit there is how do I get there and where do I go to make this user experience the best from a SaaS delivery point of view. And we also have gateways that are for the public cloud platforms, your Amazons and AWSs that will join. I mentioned the orchestration that's involved in the network. These gateways you spin up in those public cloud platforms, and they partake in the orchestration. It's just like another branch. So you have complete end-to-end control.
Really bringing those resources and capabilities into your WAN itself. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Hmm. And then finally, we were talking before about simplifying operations. IT teams are getting smaller, looking to do more with less. So we need a simple way to manage and deploy all this technology. What kind of capabilities are we looking at there?
Yeah, so we're really talking about zero touch provisioning now from a day zero truck roll type aspect. There's what we call an installer app, so you can allocate a site to a particular person or an installer. They have the mobile application. They go to site, they log in, they then can scan the barcodes of the equipment that they're putting into that particular branch. That all gets fed back into the management platform, Aruba Central, and that is married into the config that is there for that particular branch, and they're connected and zero touch provisioning, connecting up to Central, dragging down config for the gateways and the switches and the access points, and really away you go. You're up and running. And then from moving on to day one and on, the AI and the manageability that's in the platform, the vision that you're getting of what's going on, from not only your WAN point of view, but if it's the full SD branch, you're getting vision of your switching, your PoE, you're getting vision of your Wi-Fi. Then that's sort of what's really encompassing what we call SD branch, right? It's the full stack edge to cloud type solution.
Okay. How about a few quick fire questions?
Go for it.
You ready? How can SDBranch bring about some cost savings?
Yeah, I mean, SDBranch, and it's probably more actually, yeah, it's two aspects. The SD-WAN component, of course, is really about getting bang for buck out of your carriage. We have a comfort in the internet these days. We talked a lot about security, so we have confidence in the security that we can have around using the internet. So you can deliver multiple links into a branch, and they can be NBNs, they can be LTE, and we can use them collectively and intelligently to make use of them at a very good cost. Whereas prior you'd have one link, it'd be an MPLS, it'd be your leased line, and it'd be sort of nailed up, and it was very stringent and very very secure, of course, but not very flexible. So there's cost savings in driving multiple carriage into a branch and then using that as one holistic system.
And that's a pretty unique moment in history when you can get more flexibility and spend less at the same time.
Absolutely. The use of this internet is, today is, if you looked at it, 10 years ago and said, this is what you'd be doing, people would laugh at you, but we've come a long way. So the other aspect of the operations is that IT ops that we discussed around having the network work a bit harder for you, having it show you, having it have that insight and telling you what's going on and giving you suggestions and picking up errors and quick dashboards of statistics and where to focus or where not to focus. Using UXI to give you a quick user take on how applications are performing. Letting IT do things that are going to be more cost benefit for the business.
That's right, and again, it's one of those unique things where we can get that flexibility, get that control, get that intelligence, and have the network almost prove its value to you. And make the value more obvious. Okay, another question. We've talked about the full stack, LAN, wireless LAN, SD-WAN. Is SDBranch all or nothing? Can it be deployed in different parts?
Yeah, absolutely. We're certainly not advocating that it's an all or nothing. You start where you'd like to start, where your priorities may be, or where businesses are in their technology refresh cycles. You can start with the branch gateways and build that nice SD-WAN architecture. You can start with wireless LAN only and have all the nice Aruba benefits of a solid, robust wireless LAN experience for your users, or you could start with the switching in the middle, so to speak, and build from there. It's really up to businesses and budgets and life cycles. You know, understandably, you get the full benefit from having the full stack, but by no means do you absolutely need it all to have a benefit in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. And then, and we've talked a lot about branches in this conversation, and for some people that might imply, you know, small sites. Does the same solution work for larger sites or even campuses?
Yeah, so we have an advantage of having such a range of gateways, if you like, and even if I step away from gateways to some degree and look at, you know, a teleworker solution with a soft VPN client that we have available called Via.
Yep.
You know, it can partake in the SDBranch architecture just like a branch can. You know, we step up one level, you've sort of got a micro branch, what we call a micro branch with a remote access point at home, which is obviously quite a hot topic with a lot of businesses, remote workers, where it's building its VPN tunnels just like a bigger branch would be. And then we're moving through the different branch levels, and they're really just a matter of picking the right piece of hardware and its performance to do what you expect at the branch level, with how many staff you've got, the applications, the bandwidth, firewall capabilities, you know, whether you want HA and some redundancy built in, and that can go all the way up to a head office. And I think it's quite interesting to think these days in this cloud world that we live in, where we've got applications that are in either public hosted clouds or even SaaS applications, that the head office really is just a big branch now.
Yeah, that's right.
With people that are going cloud and doing digital transformation and moving themselves into cloud, there's really no need for a branch to have, you know, go to the head office and then out the back door to the internet. It's all one nice, you know, web of connectivity.
And it's probably worth pointing out too that it's beyond even just the branch and office locations too. That the same platform has products and options that can be an architecture that expands even into the data centers, and so we can see the same platform manage and operate even data center switches.
Yeah, so you can put your VPN concentrators into data centers. Like I mentioned, we've got the public cloud gateways that are hugely popular these days, that just make that seamless transition into traffic flows and orchestration of that public cloud infrastructure into the network as a whole. You know, and back on the security front, we've got integrations into cloud security providers that, you know, those companies that, you know, specialize in that type of security, with, you know, whether it's Palo or Zscaler or Checkpoint. You know, they're the best of breed, and we integrate with their cloud security platforms to you know, move traffic in and out of their products to give confidence. Once again, we're talking about internet traffic, and we're confident in the security that's wrapped around it.
Yep. No, there's lots of flexibility going on here in this platform.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tim, for spending some time with us today.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I think through this conversation, there'll be lots of questions opened up for different people. And if you're looking to extend that conversation further with us, more than happy to speak to you. CSA has over 30 years of experience in the industry, and all that time I've been working with HP and then Aruba and their products and solutions. We've got lots of skills in that area, but we're more than just a networking company as well. We've also got skills and expertise when it comes to digital transformation, cloud service migrations, application workload relocations, and service management. So if you're at all interested in this topic or others, please feel free to contact us. We've set up a landing page on our website specifically for SDBranch. And if you're looking for a consulting service or a workshop, I'm happy to reach out to you and to spend that time with you to better understand your particular circumstances and how this technology can help you achieve your goals and your outcomes. So thanks, Tim, and thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.